Hello, welcome to the channel. This video is a look at Bitcoin from a macro perspective. The goal here isn't to predict price, but to understand where higher time frame structure is holding and where it might break. These videos are a journal for me. Anything you gain from it is fantastic, but they're for my own reflection. And yeah, they're not intended to be financial advice. So the chart that we're on is the Bitcoin monthly, just the index, and we're using a long-term Fibonacci extension drawn from three major historical pivots. We've got the early Bitcoin Genesis low all the way down here in December 2009, the 2017 cycle high, and the 2018 low there. What's interesting here is how closely price action is respecting the levels from this extension. The 4236 at $87,000, is being respected at the moment quite closely. We had a wick below and we closed almost exactly on it, and we are now above. So it is supporting price at the moment, and below it the 3.618 at $74,000. That one is also being closely respected with a wick into the support there before going off to all-time highs. For me, this 74, maybe $74,500 level is really key for this bull market to continue. I do consider the bull market to be still on. Like, I don't think we're in a bear market yet. I don't think that has been confirmed. For me, the bear market, the bull market, sorry, it's not dead until, proven it's dead through a lower high and lower lows. At the moment, we only have this higher low. So until the trend is broken and we get a lower high and a lower low, for me, it's still on. Bull market is still on. And I know that a lot of people like to talk about the 4-year cycle, but the 4-year cycle hasn't happened that many times. Like, Bitcoin hasn't been around for that long. So I think making assumptions on a 4-year cycle that it's only happened a few times, it's going to break at some point. So as long as Bitcoin holds roughly above $74,000 on a monthly closing basis, the higher time frame structure remains intact, and the only thing that would change that is a clean monthly close below that level. Okay, wicks below, totally fine. But if we get a monthly close below the $74,000 mark, I find it really difficult to justify a strong bear market case purely from a structural standpoint. An additional piece that makes this setup interesting is volatility. I've got volatility down here. I'm using the Bollinger Band width percentile from Caretaker. He has a bunch of really good indicators I highly recommend using. This one is free as well, can't beat it. And these are the settings I'm using, fairly standard. And on these settings, we are in a period of volatility compression that it's lasted for over a year now. If we have a look here, I would count volatility compression under 20%, and we've been under 20% since October of 2024. So we're going on, 15 months now. We're on month number 15 of low volatility. And this is actually one of the longest compression periods in Bitcoin's history, certainly in its recent history, in terms of a more widely used and accepted Bitcoin. It is the lowest period in this phase. We have to go back all the way to I think this one's not quite it yet. It's 2015 here until we have one that breaks more than 15 months. This one is quite a long one. I think it's around 28 or 29 months. That's a very long one. That's quite an outlier. And the only other time it's been more than that in history is right back in 2011 here, where we had a compression that lasted, I think this one was about 17 months. So, with 15 months of, well, we're working on number 15, Bitcoin's working on number 15 of volatility compression here. I don't think that it's going to last that much longer. If history is going to tell us anything, it's telling us that, 17 months is pretty long. I mean, there was that one case of 29 months, but I don't think that's very likely. It's quite an outlier compared to the rest of the data that we have. So, I can't see this thing staying this low for, more than 6 months maybe, just to hazard a guess. So, and you can already see it starting to tick up here. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything at this point. I wouldn't really want to bet on that until it's definitely closed in above 20%. But yeah, it's not going to last much longer. So the key is that we know that Bitcoin is likely to make a move based on that. When volatility expands, it means that price is going to move, and it doesn't give a direction. But if the structure holds and the expansion resolves to the upside, the next higher fib extension levels, let me just turn this off here, take us up here to these two levels. We've got the 6854 at about 140k and the 10618 at 210, 215. Now, these are rough, but I would expect that if we see volatility get above 20% and the momentum remains to the upside, there's no break in the Fibonacci level here at 74 and a bit thousand. If these levels hold, then the resolution will be to the upside, and the likely level is going to be starting at around 140. I mean, obviously we've got the old all-time high. That's always going to be a bit of a sticking point, but once we're through there, I think that 135, 140 is a plausible zone for price. And given that this is about a 6-month time frame, we're talking end of this year, maybe early 2027. And that's what this purple box is. This is my price structure zone for 2027, maybe end of 2026, if these levels hold down here. Now, I'm not calling, a major top at this level. As always, we get to where we get to, and I would reassess. But I'm just identifying where structure remains valid and where it might break. And for me, because this structure hasn't broken yet, we have not gotten a lower high on the monthly time frame, I'm bullish overall macro. Okay, that doesn't mean that it can't come down. Like, we've got this level here at 74,000, and a lot can happen within 1 month. It could go all the way down. It could even be super scary and wick into this $55,000 zone. Similar thing happened in the summer of last year. 2 years ago, where we got a bit of a scary wick. That could happen at this level. We could get a really big scary wick that goes all the way down, into the 60s. It's possible. But as long as it doesn't close on that monthly below 74,000, I personally am saying the bull market's still going. Obviously, if that changes, if we get closes, especially consecutive closes below the $74,000 level, then I will change my tone. I think that's probably more likely going to be a bear market regime, and at that point we're holding on for a ride lower. That first fib below 55,000 is a possibility. There are some in here that aren't visible as well, but I think that would be a good low down there if we do get into that bear market case. I know that some people are calling for around $35,000, certainly possible, I can't see it happening though. I hope this has been informative. It's been useful for me to put my thoughts out of my brain. I just ask you to kindly like and subscribe. I'll be doing these macro Bitcoin analysis videos maybe once every week or two. No point doing it more than every week if it's macro. And hope to catch you then.